co-ops to be more objective in the future. So the Titans have one more year. So that is our update for right now. Jason Osler, coach of the Titans. Jason, how do you feel about this decision? Even though it's 1 year, I mean, that gets you somewhere.
That's a good start. I mean, it's a good start putting kids that maybe weren't going to be able to travel back and forth. I think this gets the most kids able to play football.
So, I mean, I guess, you didn't get the full 3, but so when you look at this, do you think there's a way to work on roster size where you're not necessarily not keeping kids from playing, but that you're still meeting whatever rubric they may put out?
I'm gonna do my best to get all the kids that want to play football on the football field. Whether they're going to be starters or just kids that get to play a couple plays a game. I'm not here to keep kids from this. When they're out there hanging out with their teammates, having fun, that's better than them being out. And that's the way I feel about it. We'll do what we have to do to keep playing football.
All right, man. Thanks a bunch. Congratulations, man. Take it easy. So, everybody, this is CJ Pitcher.
Hello, how are you?
Just spoke at the meeting today. So, how do you feel about this outcome of at least the 1 year?
I mean, I think it's great. I think the committee was excellent at listening to our concerns, really understanding where we were coming from. I think it would be nice to have it renewed longer, but I think the way the committee feels is they need to establish some clearer criteria as to how these co-ops are going to exist, so there's more predictability for us, and also so that they can know what to say to other communities who want to have a co-op. So while a longer-term thing would be better, we appreciate the idea that they want us to stay as a co-op, and we just need to figure out what the criteria look like going forward.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much. I thought you gave a great presentation.
Appreciate that.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank
CJ
you.
Pitcher, owner of Discovery Ski Area up here in Phillipsburg. Come on, dude. Come on, just for a second, dude.
I'll give you this.
All right.
It's a great deal.
All right, man.
That's my quote.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
And that process is exactly how it should went. Brian's in a tough spot as the executive director. He did what he had to do, and so
All right.
to me, it's the right decision. And the fact of the matter is 2 years we won't even talk about it because the numbers are, you know what I mean. It's just. Everybody wants a winner, right?
Thanks,
No one
Coach.
wants to work like one.
Coach Mike Cutler. We're live here.
Okay, sure.
JB Chandler, athletic director at
Tim.
Granite. So this decision, 1 year, at least gets you guys off the hook for now. But can you talk about some of the issues that Tom talked about in there that would look like inevitable outcomes if that does not happen?
Yeah, I think the main issue, and I'm glad that Mr. Cloker from Fairview made this comment during the debate, that Phillipsburg would have struggled to field any football team next year if the co-op would have been dissolved. So I think the idea is that when you're eliminating activities for kids, and that's essentially what would have happened if we would have disbanded the co-op today, is that would have meant our Peaburg boys would have not have been able to participate in football, or they would have moved somewhere else, which was the snowball effect we did not want to see happen.
Sure. And with the elimination of the football team, you guys have a tennis team that's kind of predicated on that football team. So that would have been affected as well.
Absolutely. And let's face it, if you pull 4 or 5 boys out of the school, there's about 4 or 5 sisters that might get pulled from the teams as well.
Sure.
So when we're looking at the numbers, it wasn't just the boys football team we're worried about. It would have been the girls basketball team would have been adversely affected.
And it could have been immediately affected because if those kids transfer.
The way the transfer rule works is that on Monday, we would have seen probably 5 boys transfer out of Granite High School on Monday. So just for that reason alone, I'm really glad that the board made the decision today. And I'm just going to give you another reason why I think it was because on top of allowing the co-op to continue, they also are creating a commission to look at how co-ops are going to be formed and to continue in the future. And I just know as an athletic director that there needs to be some guidance there. And I also feel that if those guidelines would have been set in place before, then and I don't think we would have had this meeting
Right,
today.
there'll be a more black and white rather than this kind of call to an emotional appeal about what goes
I mean,
on.
I get that we had those three ideas on how co-op was formed, on the numbers, participation, and success. But it probably needs to be 12 items, right? We really need to expand that out so we know, so we can objectively look at how the schools are going to be affected. Because let's face it, I'm glad that Mr. Gates and Mr. Phillips made mention of this multiple times. It's about the students, right?
Right.
And the fact is that this co-op disbanding would have adversely affected our students' academics as much as it would have affected our sports.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Tim.
it. Thanks, JD.
No problem. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks. All right, guys. So that's it. We're going to stop here. So again, co-op approved for one more year. The MHSA is going to create, they called it a rubric, but it looks like a much more detailed set of criteria for the formation, continuance, or disbandment of a co-op. So hopefully those things will happen soon, and the Titans will be playing next year for a 10th season. So we thank you for tuning in. Remember, these On the Spots report are brought to you by Granite County Insurance, Granite County Medical Center, and Friday Night Pizza. We thank you guys so much, and I really do. Whoops, I'm kind of covering my camera there. And we thank you guys for being part of this. We'll have a story with some of the comments and details from the meeting, as well as a few pictures. So take it easy, and we thank you for tuning in. For the Flint Creek Courier, this has been Tim Allen.